Shark, have you had a runner in the Aintree National before?
No, definitely hadn't. So then I'd probably have 2 in it this year. So it'll be a change. So it felt.
And Cape Gentleman, you got him from Emmett's. How did that come about, and who's the owners, and explain that?
They're American owners, so they won the national in 1923, and they rang looking to buy Hewick, and he wasn't for sale, and he said to me, "Is there any chance of getting me a horse for it?" And I went through the English horses, the Irish horses, and there's not too many English horses or Irish horses rated over 150 that's for sale, and we bind it down to 3, and one of them then wasn't old enough, he was only a 6-year-old, and the other horse was a horse that had problems and couldn't be kept sound, so we were left with Cave Gentleman. But these people have the box taken in front of the line, I think for the last 5 years they have taken for this year, because they're a good group coming from America. I think there's 30 of them coming from America, and he just wanted a runner. He said, "I don't care where he finishes, as long as he runs, that'll do." So
and did that arise out of the American Grand National?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I've arrived out. Well, they rang me before the American Grand National to see would Hewick be sold, and now we could have got a lot of money for him, but the owner was happy enough to keep him, and I was very happy to keep him. And then we went to America. After that, I got a good few phone calls from America for different kinds of horse, but this man wanted a horse for the national, and he's the only horse I could find. He's the only horse I could find. That's hard to believe. I think that for an English national, that you'd say, Jesus, there'd be no problem in picking up a horse for it. And you go into you have Gigginstown, JP, you have Willie, you have, all the big lads have the horses for the national, and they're not for sale. They're just not for sale, and that's it.
And it's incredible to think that for a horse that's viewed all over the world, the horse you've bought is owned by a man who lives just down the road and trained by a fella who's literally over the road from you.
It's amazing, so it is. And I always liked Cape Gentleman. I thought he was a nice horse, from when Emmett got him first. Now, the problem with Cape Gentleman, Willie stayed the trip. It's a 50-50, but there's nothing else there. There was nothing else there, and this man, he goes to America. The horse goes to America after the national, and because there's plenty of opportunity. I think he's a real American horse, because good ground out there, and that's what the horse wants. But I have him now until March anyway, and we'll enjoy it. He'll go to Thornton next week. Next Sunday there's a 3-mile 4 chase in it, and he goes over there for that race. We'll look forward to going on to then with him. So
and you mentioned that you've 2 runners in the race. What's the other one?
Hewick, he'll go.
All right, okay. You would go for the English Grand National.
He'll go for the English Grand National, yeah. That's the plan. He'll go for the Gold Cup, and we'll give him a run in the Gold Cup and get him ready for the English Grand National.
Well, I would have thought you were going to give him more than a run in the Gold Cup now.
Yeah, well, sure. Listen, we'll see what'll happen in the Gold Cup. Like he'll be trying for his life in it, but I don't know if he'll be good enough for it. But there's a lot of horses in the Gold Cup, I suppose, that are little bit ifs about him. Like Willie's horse, does he stay the trip? We know that Hewick will stay the trip, and we'll make plenty of use on him. If he gets beaten, he'll be told to mind him, and he'll go on then for the national, because we know he'll stay the trip in the national, and it's probably ideal for him.
And from the point of view of you preparing him for the Gold Cup, off the top of my head, I can't remember a horse not running over the winter and being aimed at the Gold Cup.
Yeah, well,
it's going to be a massive ask.
It's going to be a massive ask. He's back in for the last 10 days there. He wants good ground, and I just don't see any point in running a horse like him during the winter. Look at the ground that we're having, heavy ground. Pull the tail end out of him and don't have a horse for the rest of the year. So I'd rather go straight there, take our chance, and go on to the national with him.
It was massive for you now to have the exposure and the attention on you, but to have 2 real contenders in the national, it's pretty extraordinary.
That's great. It's great. So just listen, you're going over there hoping that one of the 2 will do the job, or at least they'd run well. And I think both horses in the national, I'd say both of them will run well. Hewick is probably just maybe a little bit classier than the other horse, but the other horse he'll do the job as well. So and the American owners are going to be over for it, and have the box taken, and it's going to be a big day over there. It could be a big couple of days over there, so good. It might take more than one.
And from your own point of view, the fact that you can attract those American owners to invest their dollars in Irish bloodstock with a view to maybe racing them over here, leaving them over here, or extending their career to race again in America. How big of a boost is that for you?
It's an unreal boost. Since I went to America and the horse won in America, the business that I'm after getting from America is unreal. Like I'm after, I think Rachel said in the month of December we registered 22 new owners, and there's 17 of them from America. Wow. From 22, so, and there's a few new people that came around from at home as well. But I bought horses in New America there. I'm not buying pint-to-pint horses, because all these owners are hoping that we'll be able to go to America maybe next year with them, or they're all 3 and 4 year olds, or the year after. So I'm buying a horse off the flat that Ray had in the 80s and 90s over there to take a lot of beating. So we'll be looking forward to, I think next year I'm after picking out 4 different meetings in America that I'm going to go to with different horses. For me it's great. It's not Ireland, but I don't mind travelling. Have horse will travel.
I remember there was a great photograph taken of you and Paddy after you won the National. Paddy and yourself, you were obviously emotional, and you mentioned when you won the plate that it was the first time that your mum and dad had been at Galway when you won the plate. So from your own point of view and your family's point of view, what kind of an impact has Hewick had on you? Because obviously Paddy was very close to poor Jack de Bromhead, who sadly lost his life last year. It's been a massive thing for you on a personal level.
Listen, I remember when the horse won in America, and we were walking around and we were all celebrating and having a bit of fun. I saw Paddy going off at the horse down a small bit, and I knew there was something wrong. And when I went down to him, he was roaring, and it was all because of Jack, But listen, I said to him, only for Jack, I said, we mightn't be here. So that's the way I looked at it. But for him and for everyone, it was brilliant. And it's brilliant. I think it was brilliant for Irish racing when we went to America and won in America. It gave everyone a boost. And even today, if you'll meet people today that didn't know you or whatever, they're all coming up to shake hands and what you done. And that's what Irish racing needs. Irish racing needs more of it for the small people. It's great with Willie and Gordon, and they deserve all the success because they're putting the money into it. But when you can buy a horse for small money and go and win a pot like that, it brings a lot. It brings the small people back into consideration again. Just talking to Seamus Fahy the other day, he's after getting new owners out of it because of what I done. Alan King rang me 3 or 4 days after the race and just said, well done. He says, you've done a lot for English racing. He said, what you done? I said, Jesus, I don't know about that. Well, he said, I'll tell you a little story. He said, I had a crew that came to me, he said, to buy a horse the day before the horse ran, and they were going to take him, then they rang to say they wouldn't take him. And then he said, with all the show of your horse beyond, they rang me the day after and said it was the horse there still that they take him. And he asked him why. And he said, well, sure, he said, Shark ended up in America with a Grade 1 winner. He said, so he says, it's a chance for us all. So it's just, it gives everyone a chance. It gives every small trainer a chance, and it gives everyone a chance to get a good horse. You don't have to be given these hundreds of thousands for horses. Horses don't know what to cost.
My final question is, you celebrated well over in America, and you give it a proper kick, and you give it a kick when you came home. From your own point of view, if you have a horse who's going to compete in the Gold Cup and you've 2 shots at a Grand National, what will the celebrations be like?
It'll be unreal. So if we could finish in the first 3, we'll be delighted. So we'll. And listen, it's great because I have my 2 sons involved now with me, and it's a big thing. So it is, to have Rachel there. Rachel, she's a big part of the wheel, and the 2 boys are there now, and they're looking forward to the National. They're looking forward to going to America. It's the biggest job of trying to keep them into school. That's the biggest problem I have at the moment with the 2 boys. But it's great because they're involved with us, and it means an awful lot to me.